Hello and welcome back to revise GCSE history.co.uk. In this video today we're going to be looking at 19th century civilization and what life was like in the 19th century. This is the first video in the topic of 19th century medicine. It's worth pointing out that when we're talking about the 19th century in terms of medicine through time, we're actually talking about 1750 to 1900. You may at first think we mean 1800 to 1900, but actually we mean 1750 to 1900. This is because the Renaissance, if we remember back to a previous video, is roughly dated from 1450 to 1750. So in the topic of 19th century medicine, we've got this extra 50 years. So, what factors affected the development of 19th century medicine? Let's have a look. Urbanization. The growth of towns led to poor housing and infected water supplies, making killer diseases spread more rapidly than ever before. So, the growing population and the growing numbers in industrial towns led to disease spreading more rapidly. Public health was worse than ever due to the growing population. Technology. Developments in steel making helped to produce a thin syringe that didn't break. Improvements in glass making led to better microscope lenses and the first thermometer. War also led to developments in medicine. For example, it led to improvements in the standard of nursing. During the Crimean War, Florence Nightingale, this lady up here, went out to the British hospital to improve the standard of nursing care that was provided there. This helped to professionalise and really improve the standard of nursing care that was provided in all hospitals. We'll be looking at this more in a later video. Another factor that affected the development of medicine in the 19th century is scientific medicine. Scientists discovered the link between microbes and disease. This was later on, around the 1860s. And chemists found gases which could be used as anaesthetics. Looking at these two more in a later video. More newspapers meant that More newspapers meant that news could be reported quickly. Improvements in education meant more could read. Faster trains allowed people to gather at conferences. So there's an improvement in communications, meaning that medical ideas can be spread more easily and debated widely. Another factor, political change. In the early 1800s, Parliament believed that it should not interfere with people's lives. Many people agreed with this. They had what we call today, laissez-faire attitudes. The government should leave stuff be, not get involved, and leave measures such as providing public health measures to individuals and not get involved. This was a reason why people's health during the 19th century became worse than ever before. Another important thing that we need to mention here is that Galen's books no longer had an influence on medicine in the 19th century. So Galen's ideas had dominated medicine for over 1500 years, but in the late 1700s science was improving and people used observation and experiment rather than looking at ancient books for ideas. Old explanations, including the work of Galen, were questioned and they were found to be inaccurate, so they were abandoned. Now let's look at some exact reasons why. Oops, there we are. They had a new understanding of the body. Vesalius had begun a revolution of this when he proved that some of Galen's ideas were wrong. For example, Vesalius proves that there were no holes in the septum, and Galen had previously said there was. So therefore Galen's descriptions were proven to be incomplete and sometimes even wrong. The theory of all humours was no longer accepted. People thought that miasma caused disease at the start of the 1800s. The invention of the microscope proved that Harvey's ideas were right, proving Galen wrong. Harvey obviously said that the blood circulated. Galen said that it was consumed and created. Galen's books were no longer important. The Catholic Church was no longer in control of medical learning, whereas in the Middle Ages the Catholic Church strongly controlled medical learning, so that doctors were only really able to read the works of Galen. In the 19th century, the Church was no longer in control, and doctors could dissect and use microscopes. They didn't need his books. So, there's the end of today's video. 2 slides here of lots of information that you need to be aware of. You might need to go over this just a few times to make sure you've got the key points nailed. You may wish to pause this video in this position and have a quick go at these 4 quick knowledge recall questions that are based on the content of the video today. Alright, so let's go through the answers to these quick 4 questions. Question 1, give an example of how warfare affected medicine in the 19th century. Well, the Crimean War, helped to improve the standard of nursing. Give 3 ways in which communication improved. They were more newspapers, faster trains, people could get to conferences, many could read, not like in the Middle Ages when very often only monks and nuns could read. What invention helped prove that Harvey was correct and that Galen was previously incorrect? The invention of the microscope. What do people think caused disease at the start of the 19th century? Just this minute mention that. They believe that miasma or bad air causes disease, so that bad smells in the air cause people to become ill. Alright, so that's the end of the video today, and there are the answers to the quick 4 questions. Thanks for watching the video today. In the next video in this topic, we are going to be looking at inoculation, vaccination, and the work of Edward Jenner on smallpox. Thanks for watching, see you soon.